Hi, and welcome to Module 1 of 5, Facebook Friends Facelift. Why having too many friends will stop your posts being seen. Now, before I really get into the module, I'll tell you a little story. When I first started using social media back in 2009, I was running a social media marketing company. Now, our main client were the larger companies, and at that time, the larger companies wouldn't even entertain the idea of using social media, let alone Facebook. They always thought that it was for the kids. And, I know that things are very different now. They didn't see the benefit of it at all. So we had to educate them in the benefit of that. And we often ended up setting up their Facebook pages for them. And boy, have things changed now. Our business would be to teach these companies and these clients how to set up their Facebook fan page, as we called it, and how to manage them. We also showed them how to get their followers, and in those days, the more friends you had gave you more credibility. So, for us as a social media marketing company, we obviously had to show that we were credible by having multiple followers and friends. Now, even back in 2009, which is the same as today, the maximum amount of friends that you can have is 5,000. So, what we used to do is, as we were starting out, we used to accept every friend request without actually vetting them. We used to send them out, we used to send out friend requests all the time without even talking to these people. It was like we were just collecting individuals. So, to make up the numbers, it didn't matter where they came from, what they did, or whether they were interested in what we were offering, as long as we could go to a large corporate and tell them that we had 5,000 Facebook friends. That is all they needed to know in order to make a decision to use our services. Well, that's not quite true. There were some other things, but that was certainly something that they looked at. Things have changed completely, and I'm sure that you hear all the gurus talking about engagement all the time. However, they don't really tell you about the bit that's missing, and that is that you really need a good foundation of fabulous friends. That is, that you have to get rid of your dead wood. I know it doesn't sound very kind, but it's a fact that by bragging about how many friends you have in Facebook is no longer relevant. So by the end of this first module, I'm going to be talking to you why your posts are not being seen, having a good foundation of activity, and how to remove inactive friends. So why your posts are not being seen? Well, as I've said, the maximum amount of friends is 5,000. So for instance, if you post something up and you think it's amazing, you think it's really educational, or you think it's great inspiration, something like that, then out of those 5,000 friends, Facebook make a decision as to who is going to see it and how many is going to see it. So, for instance, if you have some activity with 25 people and those 25 people happen to be online at the time that you post, then Facebook will send it to those 25 and they will get to see your post. Then Facebook will say, oh, okay, that's good. Those 25 have not only seen it, but they've interacted with the post. That means it must be pretty interesting. So we'll send it out to another 25. And it goes on and on and on. The problem is that what if when you put that post out, those 25 existing people that are the most active are not actually online? It means that the post goes out to them and maybe, say, two or three will see it. And out of those two or three, maybe one will actually respond. They might give you a heart, a like, a love, comment. But then what happens is Facebook will say, okay, well, this is not all that interesting, so we won't bother sending it to anybody else. And then, of course, that means that you get the awful sound of crickets on your posts. And it's so frustrating because you spent all that time cultivating and curating and creating a really wonderful post. So it is far more important to have an audience of people that genuinely know you and genuinely will engage with your posts. How you get there, though, is a bit of hard work. So, for instance, having the maximum of 5,000 people on your Facebook feed is no longer relevant. It's probably better that you have around about 3,000 and under, and then that gives you a bit more of a chance to get to know these individuals and encourage them to come over to your feed. So your post will not be seen if you do not activate the algorithm. And this is what we'll come on to on one of the later modules, how once you've got rid of your friends, you can start to activate the algorithm. So you really do need to have a connected foundation of friends. And that means it's time to clean up your list. So the first thing that you've got to do is really clean that list up. If you have been on Facebook for a long time, like I have, you'll find that you have picked up a lot of people along the way that you may never have spoken to ever in your entire life. You've never commented on their posts and they have never commented on yours. In fact, you never even see them at all. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to your profile and actually click on your friends list. And basically, you're going to start going through that friends list and remove all of the inactive friends. Now, you're asking the question, how do I know whether they're inactive or not? Well, of course, you don't know for sure whether they are inactive. Now, it might be that you just get a sense of it. You might get a feeling for it. And that's what happened to me is I just got a feeling that some of those people were not active. So I basically right clicked on the profile picture and then it pulled it up into another tab and I was able to go and check out their profile. Now, when you check out the profile, you'll be able to see when was the last time that they posted. Now, what I found is quite a lot of them, the last time that they posted was when people wished them a happy birthday. Now, that could have been yesterday, but there were no responses from the individual that owned the profile. So therefore, it told me that it was, in fact, inactive. And I had people that were inactive. They still had their Facebook profiles live, but they were inactive from like years back. So I just didn't even question it. No point in sending a message, finding out what's happened, just unfriend immediately right away. Now, of course, that is very, very time consuming. So there are a few things that you can look out for. You can go through your list and remove people that are not in your niche. So when you see the profile, you'll often see just a tiny snippet of their bio. So you'll see what sort of business they're in, if they're in any business at all. If there's nothing there, and you know that person, then obviously you keep them there. But if they have a bio that is of no interest to you whatsoever, and it's highly unlikely that they will ever buy your product or your service, then you need to get rid of those as a friend. So just unfriend them straight away. Again, no questions, no queries. Don't spend too long thinking about it. You want to get this job done as quickly as possible, but you don't want to get rid of too many all at once. Because if you get rid of too many all at once, like we're talking a couple of hundred, aim to get rid of 100 or so a day. That should be plenty. Okay, so another way that you can actually get rid of the friends from your profile is that you can actually use an automated app. Now, I can't give you a name of one because you're all using different search engines. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to do a search, say like you're on Chrome, maybe you're using Brave, Firefox, whatever it is that you're using, but do a search and search for Facebook Friends Remover or remove friends en masse, something like that. Use those keywords, and then you will find that you can download an app, and this will automate the process. Now, it will only automate it in the sense that when you're doing it in your profile, you can only delete one person at a time. But when you download one of these apps, you can literally click on one picture after another picture after another picture, and then you can just literally press delete and the whole lot will be deleted. Now, it does take a little bit of a while, but it is worth doing because once I did this, the activity of my profile certainly went up. So I would highly recommend that you start doing this. So I would suggest that you use a few of these criteria. First of all, there could be some that don't have a profile picture. So you know how you get that sort of shadow or that just image of a person, a male or a female? Well, if it's just that image without it being a proper photograph, then get rid of it straight away. It's probably that the account has gone inactive at some point, or it could be that you actually agreed to be their friend and they could have been a spammer in the first place, and then Facebook have found out and removed them. So no profile picture, no friendy. Okay, so check to see if they're active or inactive. And for those of you that are on this course, that I know that I've got a lot of intuitive people, use your intuition and actually have a feel for it. And the more that you do this, you will get more of a feel for the people that are inactive. If you're not sure, just click on the profile and check it out. So the other criteria that I look for is, are they a dog, a cat, a horse, or a child? Unless you know them, just unfriend them. You don't want to actually be selling to a dog, a cat, a horse, or a child, and you certainly don't want to be friends with someone's baby either. As much as they love their children and their dogs and their cats, they are not people that are going to be very good friends or potential clients for you. Now, like I say, if they are not in your business niche or a potential customer or client, and please don't tell me that everyone is a potential client of yours, because they're not, and you couldn't possibly actually talk to all of those people, because one of the things that you are going to do is you are going to start communicating with these people on a more regular basis, and I'll show you how to do that. And unfortunately, as much as I hate to write this on there, some of them will be dead. Okay, so they will have passed away for one reason or another. Let's face it, we have all been on Facebook for a long time. Perhaps just being on Facebook kill you off. But anyway, here's a little recap for you. So the why you would get rid of the dead wood is it actually it does more harm to the activity of each individual post that you put up. So this is the foundation to doing attraction marketing and making sure that you get more activity. And then you would finally delete all of those people that are in fact inactive. So this is the end of module 1 of 5. Remember to click complete. I'm Sunny Love from Sunny Love Lifestyle, and I will see you in module 2.